Da, 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 da. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, friends and family of the show. If you're still with us, you're a true fan. Welcome back to the 90 Mile Podcast. I'm your boy Jish on the mic with my pal Adam. Adam, how you doing?
I'm good. A bunch of great games this week. I was not disappointed at all. Actually, a
This,
little bit disappointed, but
I guess
for
we'll
the
get to
overall,
that, but this
yeah.
was the best weekend in football history. I don't care. I don't care what
Oh
anybody
yeah.
else says. I got my trail mix with me, and we're ready to break it down for you, as well as look into the championship game for this episode. Whoa, excuse me. So let's start things off with the first game. All of these games came down to a walk-off game winner, which is absolutely insane to me. Let's
Well,
go with the
yeah.
first one, Bengals Titans.
Bengals Titans, great game. I guess see. I said that the Titans are going to start off slow. They just never found their groove, which is a big part of their loss. You could tell that they were just not on the same page. Henry wasn't rushing that well. I actually didn't know, but he was playing with metal
Mm-hmm.
uh, plate in his foot. So yeah, big win by the Bengals. You can't be mad about the Bengals winning
Oh no,
because
absolutely not. Joe Shiesty to the AFC Championship game. Hello. I mean, I think I'm in hindsight. I think I really did overestimate the return of Derrick Henry. Sorry, my cat just joined. He's sneezing. Uh, uh, but I really thought that you couldn't stop him, and they could. They had an answer to him. It just really goes to show the determination of this Bengals team. The fact that they took like what 10 sacks and still somehow pulled it out. It shows that oh, sorry.
yeah, it's fine.
It shows that the hold on, okay. It shows that the Titans really need a new quarterback. Really, in my opinion, I mean they can't move on from Tannehill with his contract, but you can't throw 3 interceptions in the most important game of the season.
Yeah, I agree. Like I did overestimate the return of Henry, but I thought he was going to be like obviously not pretty healthy, but close to it. And then the more like close to the game got, like the more it came out that like he wasn't as healthy as it seemed. Like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize, like they didn't release the information that he would have all the stuff like in his foot and like all the metal in his foot until like the morning of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, first of all, I was like Jamar Chase. On one of the first plays, he caught the screen pass and just torched. Like ended up getting tackled, but like for the first like 20 yards, you could like it was like a man playing amongst kids with how fast he was going.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Bengals, I think that's why my cat Chip joined the call here for a second because he knew we were talking about a cat team. They just seem like, I'm going to mention this term later, but they just really seem like a team of destiny this year. It seems like almost nothing can slow them down, which is awesome. And Derrick Henry just didn't have a Terrell Owens type of game in the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I
Well,
it's hard to go up against a team with as much momentum as the Bengals.
I could agree that like how I see the Bengals, it's not the same as when the Eagles won the Super Bowl because like the Eagles were coming off of their
I,
MVP like quarterback coming back, but they are
I didn't mention the Eagles. You did.
yeah, but they are playing with the underdog. Like they're not really playing with the underdog mentality, but everyone counts them out, and yet they're keeping the momentum week week by week. They have the momentum, and yet everyone still counts them out,
A
and
cultural.
that
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
and that no, I was saying you were mentioning like they just like have that feel with them, just like you can't hate them because everyone counts them out, and yet they prove everyone wrong.
I mean, a cultural icon quarterback who wears number 9 going on an insane playoff run. Where have I heard this before? Anyway, so on to the next
Um,
game. on to the
big
next
point
game.
for me.
On to the next game. Niners Packers. Oh my god, I love this was one of the greatest nights in Twitter history. Everybody clowning on Aaron Rodgers after this game. Another walk-off field goal. I mean,
Oh my god.
walk
Well,
us through that one.
that's like I remember like in the podcast I said I had Packers winning that game, but then I was speaking about it like with my phone, just like I think don't be surprised if Niners find a way to win the game because they tend to just outplay the Packers in big games. They used to just be a lot more physical. But to be completely honest, I was at a soccer. I watched the first half, but the entire second half I was at a soccer game, so I didn't get to see it. I was and it was
Oh
really sad.
no.
Like I took a break, like I was, because it's like a fun league, so everyone gets their time off on the bench. And I take out my phone, and was like, how did the Niners tie the game? I was like scrolling through like everything, like
Hufunga.
what
Hufunga.
that that punt though, once it floated, like what?
Like imagine that you are Aaron Rodgers and you don't do everything right on offense, but you think you can rely on your punter of all people. I know this as an Eagles fan. You think you can rely on your punter of all people, and they're the ones that cost you the game. The special teams
But
cost them the game, and it just shows how
look,
well rounded you need to be as a team to win in the NFL.
well, yeah, you need to be well rounded as a team, but you can't really, like, it's hard to really say that the special teams cost it. Like, yes, the special team cost it, but you still got to put some blame on Aaron Rodgers. Like, he's most likely the MVP this year, and he couldn't even get a passing touchdown. The first drive, they looked amazing. First drive, they looked absolutely amazing. Drove down the field with ease, and then he just went silent. Like, if you're you can't be putting the blame to anyone else when if this is your quarterback, you gotta have him make the plays for your team offensively.
You know, I see where you're coming from. Like Aaron Rodgers definitely deserves some blame, but you also have to look at who was his offensive line tonight or that night, excuse me. His
Mm-hmm.
offensive line was battered all season. That hadn't been an excuse until they played a real legitimate front seven like the 49ers, led by that D'Amico Ryans defense. They just played relentlessly all game long. Even Nick Bosa fighting off injuries, they weren't going to be denied. And another point I'd like to add, and you might really like this. The 49ers are another team of destiny, and they remind me of the 2007 Giants.
I could, yeah. Obviously, we were young at that, very young at that time. I don't but I could agree with that. But what I was gonna say with the I forgot. Oh, with the Rodgers being pressured, how many times was he sacked? I
It
think
doesn't.
5 times.
I mean, even it doesn't even matter if you're getting pressure all night in a cold night like that. It's going to throw any quarterback off his rhythm. I don't care.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But look what Joe Burrow did. Joe Burrow, the pressure Joe Burrow was getting was a lot higher than it was for Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not trying to say Aaron Rodgers, he's a quarterback. Every quarterback gets affected by pressure, but Joe Burrow still found the way to win that game. And yes, their defense, the Bengals defense, played amazing,
Yes.
but so did the Packers defense. The Packers defense only let up 6 points, and well,
They
not
didn't
like
even.
they
They
did.
didn't even. The 49ers offense couldn't get a single point. They only scored on special teams.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's like Rodgers should have been able to put the ball in the end zone at least twice, and if he does that, they win that game.
Maybe. And they really should have been able to, too, because the Niners were missing Ambry Thomas as well. Their best corner, best healthy corner. They had to put Josh Norman out there, and they still somehow found a way to win. You know, I want to go back to these '07 Giants parallels. You know,
Strong
like
defense.
a decent quarterback, one that won't lose you games, um, a defense that really carries the team against all expectations, a signature win in Lambeau. I just think that this Niners team even has more explosive weapons. Kittle and Deebo Samuel are forces to be reckoned with, and they proved it yet again against the Packers. Even against such a strong defensive game plan by Mike Pettin, they still were able to bust through and make big plays when they needed to. Sure, there were drops here and there, but the Niners were able
Yeah,
to just pull through, and they wanted it more that night. It was really clear.
yeah, I can agree with that. The 49ers, they just outwork the teams that they play. They're so much more physical, and that like the two biggest ways, like every sport has ways to win games. That's not including talent. And in the NFL, it's don't shoot yourself in the foot, don't beat
Mm-hmm.
yourself, and be more physical. That's what the
Yep,
Niners do. And the Niners have a lot of talent. They have great talent, but they win games because they're more physical and they don't beat themselves.
absolutely. Absolutely right about that. I'm just saying. I just thought it would tickle you. I had this comparison in my head for a while. I'm like, oh, when I say this on the pod, Adam's gonna lose his shit because I'm giving the Giants praise. Sorry, excuse my language, but
And
you
I
know, Nick Bosa and who is it? Eric Armstead, Justin Tuck, and Michael Strahan. Um. Anyway,
was Kittle and Jeremy Shockey.
Debo Samuel and who like Plaxico Burris, Amani Toomer. I don't even know.
Plaxico Burress was beast. Didn't I don't remember much, but weren't they using him a lot in like jet sweeps and stuff?
I mean, I don't really remember Plaxico Burress. That was before my time, but I mean, just wait. The Niners are gonna make it to the Super Bowl, and then they're gonna have the most random, like Is Travis Benjamin still in the 49ers?
I think so, yeah.
If
Or
he
what's
is,
the
he's
other
gonna
guy?
have like the most ridiculous catch of all time.
Elon Jennings.
Oh, I mean, he gets more snaps though than David Tyree
Yeah,
did, but
yeah.
um,
Well, my favorite story with David Tyree is they said in practice the day, like a couple days before, he couldn't catch anything. If you hit him in the chest, he'll drop it, and then he goes down and just makes that catch. Like,
whatever. Moving on to the next game. I called it. Hello, I'm literally
yes,
the smartest one on this show. Although I
yeah.
got really scared towards the end there. Rams
Okay,
Bucks.
I'm gonna complain. It hurt to watch the fourth quarter of that game.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh my
hurt.
goodness.
It like not only well, first off, they just refused to guard Cooper Cup the entire game. But like the Rams had that game, like they were outplaying them the entire game, and yet they had four fumbles. It was Cooper Cup on the out route that he fumbled. The Cam Akers fumbled, the snap over Matthew Stafford's head, and then there was one more fumble. I think was unless I'm getting confused, but
I think you might be getting a little confused there, but
I think it was a fourth fumble. I'm gonna check that, but like both like in the fourth quarter, it was like both teams wanted to lose that game, and it hurt to watch.
I mean, it felt so much like Super Bowl 51 all over again. Like we were all dreading it as soon as Cam Akers fumbled that ball. We're like, oh my goodness, they're gonna go full Shanahan, and the
Yeah.
Bucks scored. But like I said, the Rams just match up super well with the not with the excuse me with the Bucks, and that was just a matchup that I felt they could win. And they did. The Bucks have nobody in the secondary who could guard Cooper Cup and Odell Beckham. And if they do, then they'll just flip it to their backup tight end for a touchdown. It's like the Rams had this team on their heels the entire game. You saw that Tristan Wirfs being out was huge. I believe it was Leonard Floyd who had a huge game in uh, in 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 his absence. Aaron Donald, they put him on the right tackle. The Rams just knew how
No, it
to
was
exploit these matchups. Although one matchup that I was really mad about was Mike Evans actually had a really good day against Jalen Ramsey. You remember that touchdown? Burned him.
like this is what it is with Jalen Ramsey. I've noticed he's a phenomenal corner, but there's just some plays that he gives up on, and that's when they had the big plays. There are a select few, and that's but I was right with the fourth fumble because Cam Akers fumbled at the goal line right before the uh halftime. When he was running, they took out his leg, and it came out right before his helmet hit the
Oh
ground.
yeah, I do remember that. And that's when I knew
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, the Bucks are gonna come back, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's just Brady. That's Brady magic right there. You can't write that. You can't write that. And hopefully we're finally done with him for good. Hopefully this is the year
I
he says, "All
don't
right,
think
I'm done." Just
look, this
please.
is what it is. Every year that Brady stays in the league, like on Tampa, I tend to like him, like not like him more, but enjoy watching him more because what like once he retires, we're never gonna be able to experience it someone like him.
Mac
Please.
Jones.
There's a lot of similarities, but like at his age, doing what he can do, like you gotta like if he comes back next year, and I think he's going to, like you have to sit back and just watch him. Like you just gotta appreciate him, and that's what I try doing this year. And it's
I
no,
got one answer for you. I'm about to invoke Skip Bayless. No! No! I'm not gonna enjoy watching Tom Brady. Who do you think I
I'm
am?
not. I'm
Some
not going to enjoy
sycophant?
watching him. I'm not going to enjoy watching him. I'm going to appreciate it.
I've been appreciating it for the past year. It's getting old. I can't pretend to
It
like
is-
this dude anymore. I can't do it. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not like Josh Allen, which we'll get to that in a minute. He's not, even in my eyes, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts isn't that good of a quarterback, but goddamn is he if he isn't likable. Holy shit, dude. Again, oh my god. But just
So, but with Brady, I don't think Brady's retiring. I don't think he's going to want to go out this way. But then again, I also didn't think he was leaving New England. So
I'm casting out your negative energy. You're wrong anyway. You're always wrong. So doesn't
okay,
matter. You had the Bucks
want to
winning
go
that
to
game. So, sorry.
Okay. The next game,
Next
the
game,
feature. Well, this game was
heartbreaking.
crazy. You know, think of
Heartbreaking.
that.
Heartbreaking
Terrible.
game. I hate how people have framed the conversation around the overtime rules instead of the Bills defense just being the
Mhm.
worst thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, granted, you're playing one of the best offenses of all time, but they couldn't catch a break. They couldn't stop a cold breeze in Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah. No, the game was like. I agree that the overtime rules have to be changed, but that's not the reason the Bills lost. The Bills lost because 13 seconds left.
They
Like
kicked a
they,
touch. They kicked a touchback with 13 seconds left.
well, the kicking the touchback wasn't. And honestly, I don't just hate that idea of
I
kicking the
do.
touchback. The reason why I don't hate that is because, well, first off, they're like you're not gonna force them to return it because they put Tyreek Hill back there. Tyreek Hill in that scenario is your biggest nightmare. And you're not gonna squib it because if they squib it and they go straight down, one play and they're in field goal range. Like I think kicking the touchback was the right thing to do. But what they should have done was rush three and put two guys to try to stunt Kelsey and Hill at the line.
I disagree with that. I really think that if they kicked it, just if they did like a sky kick, not even a squib, they didn't even have to keep it on the ground. They did like a sky kick, allowed some air to get under it, allow their guys to get downfield to try and make a stop. It would have been way more effective than kicking it out of the end zone and leaving 13 seconds on the clock with 3 timeouts. That's like unforgivable at that point. You let a superhuman performance from Josh Allen just slip away from you. You let Gabriel
And
Davis cook your
Gabriel,
defense. Gabriel Davis, oh my god, when he scored that last touchdown, I'm like, this will forever be known as the Gabriel Davis game until Mahomes became the Grim Reaper and marched his team down in 13 seconds thanks to some splendid coaching from Andrew Reid. But I mean, again, sorry, go ahead.
that that gave Davis touchdown on the last one. Like his route on that last touchdown was nasty.
Bro,
Nasty.
bro had Mike Hughes on the field like, I don't want to do this no more.
You know what? You know what it reminds me of, and I don't know if you'll remember this. Taylor Gabriel in Super Bowl 51. I forget who was guarding him, but he ran the same route where he like went in, faked out, and went in and just completely destroyed the defensive back.
That's crazy. I think I kind of remember that, but
Taylor,
I've seen Calvin Ridley do
yeah,
that against like the Vikings.
Malcolm Butler.
Of course it was. But you're showing the video?
Yes, I
Copyright.
am.
Cooked.
They're gonna show a different. They're gonna show a different angle. This
Man.
reminds me like the exact same route.
And it's also like a nobody too. Taylor Gabriel Davis. Next is gonna be Davis Mills cooking, folks. Oh man.
See,
Got him.
exact same route.
Oh man.
Ran
That's what
straight, faked out, and
yeah, how did that game end? But
well,
you know, I think and this is gonna be a little bit more personal, but after the game, Eagles fans were like, why can't we get that kind of quarterback like there's a lot of discourse in the Eagles community that we should trade some assets to get like Russell Wilson or get Aaron Rodgers or get Deshaun Watson or draft a high quarterback. With the state of our
I,
roster, that's going to be the type of heartbreaking loss that we're going to experience every single year if we give up assets for that. We are an incomplete team. We are not just a quarterback away from contending like the Broncos or even the football team. If we trade through first round picks for Russ, we're going to lose in the division round in heartbreaking fashion like that every single time to a team with a good offense.
how I feel is agree. Quarterbacks, like people are like, oh, why can't you draft Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? It doesn't hurt. It comes down to coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen was one of the most raw prospects coming into the draft. And that's why it took 3 years for him to really hit his stride and become one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Same with Patrick Mahomes took the year off and then took the league by storm, but he wasn't that like decorated as like the only quarterback that you can really say right now that was a decorated prospect that is performing phenomenally is Joe Burrow. Everyone else was projects from the coaching staff that
And
panned out.
and Joe Burrow wasn't just like a phenomenal prospect. He was the best college football quarterback in history for a season. He had the best
Oh yeah,
season of all time. So he just
that
came into the league. He was also 23. He also was an older rookie. He had experience under his belt. He played in an NFL style offense with two future All Pro wide receivers to his left and to his right, and
when is
Clyde
it that
Edwards-Helaire too.
that LSU offense was just not LSU, offense specifically, but their defense too was just insane. Like that team was just. But I forget the exact numbers. But Joe Burrow in playoff games is like one of the when I say playoff games, like meaningful games with college and the NFL, is just like insane. He has like he's like 7-0. Interception, which he had this. He did throw an interception this week, right? Did he? I
Yeah,
think he did.
I think he threw a few.
But yeah, intercept but before going into this week, he had like 8 touchdowns for zero picks, like over 300 yards a game, and that's just like consistently over like 6, 7, 8 games. Actually, his numbers for the college years are just insane.
Yeah, and I feel like we're harping a little bit too much on the Bills here. I think the Chiefs played an excellent game as well. They force fed their targets and they just played the Chiefs football. Really, they exploited the fact that Tre'Davious White still is not on the Bills, and they were able to win because of that. And I really think that if Tre'Davious White played, we were looking at a different story.
Mm-hmm. Well, oh, I see. Well, there's two things that was pointed out to me. First off, was if the Bills would have beaten the Jags, that game would have been in Buffalo, which would be completely different.
That's crazy. No, and it would have been even funnier if the Bills won that game and won it all. That would mean the worst team has beaten the best team in the league. I don't think that's ever happened before.
Yeah. And then the other thing is with the I mentioned the playoff format and the overtime playoff format, and yes, it's annoying, but we can't really that's how the rules are. But what annoys me is that if it was like college style, where each team gets the ball or something along those lines, this would have been possibly the best game ever with how it was going.
Mm-hmm.
Like this game is already going to go down as a classic, especially if the Chiefs win it all. It's going down as a classic. But if they would have kept the overtime, it would go down as one of the best games ever.
Yeah, you're right about that. For sure. It would still be going on right now, too, and we wouldn't be filming this, but alas, it did end. But, um, so now moving on to some
Next
predictions for these championship games.
first
O'Malley.
game, the first game is the Bengals and the Chiefs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just played this one in Madden.
I'll love to see Cincinnati win that, but it's gonna be hard to. They already beat the Chiefs, but they beat the Chiefs at home, and it was because Jamar Chase had one of the best games ever. You can't really expect him to repeat those numbers, and if that doesn't happen, T. Higgins was quiet in that game for the most part. Tyler Boyd had flashes, but he was quiet for a good part of the game. You can't rely on Jamar Chase all game, and that's the biggest thing. If Bengals can find other ways to move the ball down the field besides Jamar Chase, I think they could pull it out, but it's going to be difficult, especially stopping that Chiefs offense.
And, I agree with you. As much as I want the Bengals to go all the way, as much as I want to see a Joe Burrow Super Bowl and how exciting and refreshing that would be, first Super Bowl since 2013 that doesn't have Brady, Manning, or Mahomes, that, I mean, that would just be super refreshing. But at the end of the day, this is a team that gave up 10 sacks last week to, Jeffrey Simmons is a great player, but this Chiefs D line I think is even scarier than that Titans one. And the Chiefs offensively are going to be able to keep up. They can't just get away with scoring 19 points and coming out with a victory against a team like the Chiefs. They're
Yeah.
going to have to limit those sacks so they even want a prayer of winning.
Well, I said that to my I said this while watching the game that even if the Chiefs find a way to win next week, I can't see them winning it all because at the point of their game, they're either playing the Rams or the Niners. Both of those teams have phenomenal defensive lines. So if they were to win, Nick Bosa, if they were to beat the Niners in the playoffs in the Super Bowl, Nick Bosa is getting at least 3 sacks. If they meet the Rams, Miller Von Miller and Aaron Donald getting 3 sacks apiece. Joe Burrow's going to get killed if he makes it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's no way that the Bengals really can win it all. It's sad, really, and I think that seeing the performance we saw from Mahomes and the Chiefs offense last time just shows that they are back, and they're not going to lose another fluke one to the Bengals, especially at home in the playoffs. There's no way. On to the NFC. Oh boy, I'm gonna go first for this one. You know,
I'm excited.
I want to pick the Rams. I do, and I was all aboard the Rams train because I don't really believe in the superstition that Kyle Shanahan owns Sean McVay. But man, after I saw those ticket policies that they're doing, I just don't see them winning. I feel like there's some bad energy in the air. I feel like the Niners are just too unstoppable at this point, even though they aren't like an offensive powerhouse by any means at all. It really comes down to if Trent Williams is playing. If Trent Williams is playing, I think the Niners have a much better chance of beating the Rams. But if they don't, then we're probably going to see a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl.
This is how I see it. Like, it's not the superstition that Shanahan beats McVay. It's that because it comes down to coaching. Shanahan knows how to beat McVay-led teams, and that's how it is. And he just has his number. But it's not just Trent Williams. I think there's a couple players that we really need to see how healthy they are. Garoppolo's a big one. Garoppolo, like, obviously he's not Mahomes or Allen, but he still will win. Like, you still need him healthy if you want to win that game. Because you saw it was against the Packers when he wasn't healthy. Debo got hurt. Debo's banged up. I don't know how he's been doing this week, but he was banged up at the end of that game. Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are still, I'm assuming, both somewhat injured. Nick Bosa probably not as much. Trent Williams, like, the Niners are just too banged up. Even if they all play, they're not going to be 100%, and that's what's going to be the biggest factor in this game.
I don't like what the Rams are doing. I don't like the energy of their ticket sales. And I know that's like really a superstitious thing to say, but I just have a gut feeling about these Niners, man. And the Rams, you remember that like they didn't win a game in November. They looked really bad. And I don't know why. I just feel like they're not going to come out prepared for this game for some reason. They're going to underestimate the Niners like every single team has thus far. And if the Niners win, no matter what, they'll get a Super Bowl rematch, either with the Bengals or Chiefs. Played them both in the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. You are right about the injuries. That is a very valid point. But it's really next man up in this league, and I think that Trent Williams is the most important one out of all of those.
I agree with that, but unless I might be getting it confused, but is it who is the replacing what's his McGlinchey on the right side? Kappa, is that his name?
No, Kappa plays for the Bucks.
Yeah. You know who I'm thinking of? It's something with the C.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. The fact that we don't know is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Hold on, 49ers right
tackle.
I know about Michael Lynch.
No, it's not Michael Lynch.
Let's look at the depth chart.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, because I know he got
Compton. Tom Compton.
Tom Compton. Yeah,
he's a guard. Oof.
Yeah, like, he's not terrible, but like you saw how it was with the Buccaneers when Tristan Wirfs went down and Von Miller feasted. I think Von Miller is going to feast in this game, and I disagree. I don't think the Rams are going to be taking the 49ers for granted. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think they haven't beaten the 49ers in 3 years. They lost. They should have won Week 18, but they didn't. They're hungry. I think Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Stafford put the team on their backs, and they win this game. I think Stafford's going to go, I want to get in the Super Bowl. I want to win this Super Bowl, and he's going to put the offense on his back. And then I think defensively, Von Miller and Aaron Donald are going to feast.
I don't know. All logic says the Rams are going to win. They match up really well with the Niners as well.
No, I think all logic points to the Niners winning.
What's up?
Niners. I think all logic points to the Niners winning because the Niners will be. Shanahan's never lost from McVay, which plays a factor into it, and the game's essentially is going to be a Rams game, a 49ers home game because when they played in Week 18 in LA, the it was basically a 49ers game, and they say statistically, in Northern California, they doubled the ticket sales than they did in Week 18. So that means it's gonna be a lot more like a Niners game than
But
Rams
the
game.
Rams made a policy that they're not selling to anybody outside the LA area. So it would have to be all in resale. If the
Hmm.
Niners faithful are that faithful, then
They are. Someone said it very well. Like the biggest part is that these Niners fans will pay for these crazy tickets, and they're just out buying the LA fans. And another factor that I've noticed was that like the Rams are just recently moved back to LA, so it's not like people in St. Louis moved to LA with them. It's like in that area, there's still a lot of 49ers fans, and that's why all their home games against the Niners are going to be full of Niners fans.
right. But I think that the ticket policy will inhibit them because Stan Kroenke is a POS. But I don't know, man. I feel like this is gonna be one of those weird, like mythological games. That's just the feeling I'm getting, and I could be completely wrong. But if I'm not, then you're never going to hear the end of it. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's really all we can talk about. A few coaches just got hired today. Nathaniel Hackett got hired by the Broncos, and Matt Eberflus from the
That
Bears.
the Hackett just points to They're going for Rodgers and Adams.
Well, yeah,
That's
of
what
course they're going for them,
I
but
think
it's
the
a matter
Niners
of
do
if
the right. I think it would be the right thing. Obviously, I don't like trading for like big quarterbacks and stuff like that because it takes a huge part. It takes a huge part of your team. But you're the Broncos. They're just a quarterback away, and there's a good chance it brings Adams with him. Will just completely revamp that offense.
that would be crazy. Ugh, man.
Insane. Noah Fant is amazing. Like Noah
Glad that
Fant's a
they're.
very solid.
I'm glad they're not in the NFC. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
But just look at that. Look at that. If that happens, it's like Rodgers may not even be the number best or second best. Like I think you can make the argument like he's not better than like you can make the argument with him and Mahomes, and with how depending on how Herbert comes out next year, Rodgers might be the number 3 quarterback in that division. That division is going to be wild next
That's
year,
just crazy. That's really crazy to think about. I mean, the NFC would be wide open if that were to happen. Um,
and it's Brady retired.
a bunch of Bears fans hate the Eberflus hire. I understand why. They obviously wanted Brian Dable. I think he's the best assistant coach in the league, and I'm not shy about that opinion. It really comes down to who they hire as their offensive coordinator. They're thinking about hiring the Eagles passing game coordinator, which would be a mistake. Not for the Eagles, but for the Bears. I mean,
Yeah,
oof. But that would be something. The
yeah,
offensive coordinator they should hire is Mike Kafka from the Chiefs. That would be awesome for them.
yeah.
Um, and I hope the Jaguars. This video is probably going to come out when the Jaguars make a decision, but I hope they get Byron Leftwich, and I hope the
Yeah.
Giants get Adam Gase.
Everything that I'm seeing is like with the Jaguars is confusing because I heard that they did sign Leftwich, and then I hearing that the Saints are trying to interview him, and then I heard that Leftwich
Fangio.
got uh, Bulk fired, their general manager fired. Like I saw something like that, but like it's like weird. It's like everything that I see because I don't look at all of it. I just get like I go on Reddit random times and I just like see the first couple posts, and it's all over the place. And I
Fangio is
generally have
also
no idea.
interviewing in Jacksonville too, which would be horrible for them. That would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah. With the Giants, it's really between Flores and Dable, and then the Giants are interviewing Leslie Frazier tomorrow, and that's going to be their last interview. So it's really in between. It's like we should find out by Saturday night. Saturday,
Please hire Leslie Frazier. Holy
uh,
crap!
all
Please.
everything that I've seen, it's that the Dable is by far the number one, and then Flores, and then everyone else is just kind of like there.
Oh my God!
Like
Please hire Leslie Frazier. Please.
I want Dable. I want Dable really bad.
I mean, from what your owner is saying, John Mara, it seems like they're gonna hire Dable.
Yeah,
Um,
everything
which
points
means
to us hiring
yeah,
Dable,
which means
especially
Flores
with
probably goes to the Texans. Which means I don't know. I don't know
Something
who the
that,
Vikings are even in on at this point.
something that was released with Flores was that he doesn't even have Deshaun Watson's phone number. So all these rumors that they want to go to the same place and like all that information is false.
I mean, I think it was. I don't know who in Miami actually wanted Flores, but or not Watson, but that was a story mid-season.
Yeah.
Miami, speaking of which, I don't know who they're gonna go with. They should really
They
hire Brian Flores. I feel like he would be great for them.
I've been hearing that the Miami really wants Dable, which is
Please,
that's what's scaring me because this happened with like what Dable's the Giants' number one, and when we originally signed Joe Judge, Matt Rule was our number one, and the Carolina Panthers just showed up to him with a bunch like a huge contract and just like take this now. And I'm afraid that the Dolphins are going to do that to us with Dable.
hope so. I hope so. Flores would be good at culture building over there, but you guys do not need another defensive coach.
It's that, and we don't need like we just got rid of Judge, who
Special
was a
teams.
Belichick disciple. But there's also a lot of rumors that Judge and Gettleman hated each other. Like they never got along with how to go about the team.
I think everybody hated Gettleman, so
Yeah,
except for me. I'm the number one Gettleman supporter. I thought he was terrific. He pushed my agenda really hard. Joe
my
Schoen
favorite
so
Gettleman.
far is a schmuck.
Yeah. No, no, well, no, some of the things that like was going on with the press conferences are kind of funny. Like, they go like, like, what do you like? How do you see like Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley? I go, and like, what's the biggest issue? The Giants goes, it's obvious. We need to fix the offensive line. We're like, what? He goes, like, Daniel Jones looks like a great guy, but he's always getting knocked on his. But every other play, he's getting knocked on his feet, like knocked off his feet. And Saquon, I think, is a great talent. Obviously, he was his rookie year, but he has no one blocking it for him. And like, he literally just called out the entire offensive line. And
I
then
it reaffirms my belief that you guys are double dipping with the number 5 and 7 pick at offensive line.
I I want edge and tackle for those picks, and I want to pick a guard in the second round because to me, like I saw the statistics, like out of the 64 starting, no, actually no, not 64. Out of like the all the guards in the like on like the NFL rosters, I think there's only like 14 or like a certain like there's a very small percentage of them that's actually in this draft in the first round.
Yeah, but like who was one of them? Two of them actually. The two best guards in the league were drafted in the first round. Zach
Quentin,
Martin and
yeah.
Quentin Nelson.
But it's like people say Linderbaum, but I don't think Linderbaum is in that high of a
Oh, absolutely.
prospect
He's one of the best center prospects we've seen since last year.
since last year.
Yeah, but you know who
Like
that was? That was Landon Dickerson. He was also freaking an amazing prospect who should have won it in the first round if it weren't for injuries.
Reed
Linderbaum is
Humphrey.
like a healthier version of, and I think even faster version than Dickerson. I honestly think the Giants should go Ike Ekwonu and then Linderbaum. This is way far
I
down the
want
road.
Reed.
I feel like that would be perfect draft first round for the Giants, and then the second round you can get like Arnold Ebiketie or something like that.
Yeah, I just want offensive line and D line because like
Yeah,
we have if we can stay healthy, we have talented. We not talented receivers, but we can make things work with our receivers if they
they
stay
are
healthy.
talented. No, I think they are talented. It was
I
just
I
the most unlucky year of all time with injuries and what have you.
Tony Kadarius Tony I think could be special if he stays healthy, but you know Kadarius Tony dropped this new album last night.
It was his birthday too, right?
I didn't know that. All I know is that he dropped a new album and
How is it?
okay, so I wasn't a big fan of it, but like in my opinion, he has good beats, but like he just doesn't have the voice for rapping. Like it's hard to explain. But if he can stay
Oh,
healthy, I think he could be a talent. But,
we went all the way off track here.
yeah,
But this was a fun episode. I got a little off
yeah.
track at the end, but we'll be back next week to talk about the Super Bowl and awards probably too. And thank you guys for tuning in. Drop a hire Adam Gase at New York Giants in the comments if you are a true believer, if you are a true fan of either squad, because it would be so beneficial um for our channel. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, do the YouTube thing. I'm Jish. That's Adam, and we're out of here.